Hi everyone, very good afternoon. Welcome back to our final live hour of the day. If you've just tuned in, where have you been? We've done 2 hours already, but great to have your company this Monday afternoon. Now, a really exciting day today because this is our first collection launch of 2024 and it's gone down an absolute storm. 55% of our entire stock of Floral Dawn has gone already. And just take one look at the collection, you can see why, especially that fantastic elegant foliage card shape in the middle there. That's where it all stems from, with all those extra wonderful flowers, the sentiments, and of course the little characters. Have a little look at what the design team have done though. These cards are amazing. Aren't they absolutely breathtaking? That's the sort of card you can be making if you go for this fantastic Floral Dawn collection, which, as I say, is the brand new collection, the first one of 2024, and it's exclusive to us at the moment on Carnation Crafts TV. Now, the first port of call to say is this one here. The elegant foliage card shape is absolutely breathtaking. If I just hold this card up for a second so you can see it, to have these beautiful sprays of leaves all the way around all edges and all sides of this is spectacular. So this is the sort of thing that you can create with what we have here today. Now the value for this is phenomenal when you consider it should be over £130, but if you order it today we can let you have that very, very special price, show price of £89.99. It's going to go up to £99.99. If you order it right now though, you can have it for £89.99. Now obviously you've got the main card shape, you've got here all these beautiful blooms, the burst of blooms. Over here we've got the upstanding sentiments, and it's really refreshing to see the sentiments going from top to bottom rather than from left to right, although you can make them go left to right by snipping them if you want to. And then down the bottom we've then got the beautiful Dawn Friends. So you've got here 3 cute bunny rabbits, maybe you're thinking Easter, possibly. Then you've got the blue tits there, of course, as well. Instantly makes you think of warmer weather and spring and summer days. And then you've got the raised above as well, which is beautiful for those extra elements. You've got that beautiful kind of twig-shaped heart, you've got the branches, and then you've also got those fantastic stones that you can actually make into a wall if you want to as well. Now, if you want to order it, the easiest way is obviously at our website, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. Go there right now. All we ask you for, of course, is the £89.99, or you can take out ClearPay or PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to spread it interest-free over a few payments. And of course, while you're there, after you've bought them, then go to the download section, click on free downloads, and all the artwork for this collection is there for you to print off straight away. So you know what we're like at Carnation. As soon as you place your order, the guys in the warehouse are packing it and then sending it out straight away. So some of you may even get your purchase tomorrow. If not tomorrow, probably the next day. You'll get it very, very quickly indeed. Now, if you're watching us in the UK, it's free P&P for you because you're spending over £50. If you're watching it in the USA, you could go for this with a £4.95 shipping and handling charge. If you wanted to put maybe the perfect papers into your order, then that would take the shipping and handling up to £14.95, and the perfect papers are there for you, all 48 sheets of them, 300 GSM in colorways that are going to be the perfect combination to blend with the artwork. So I know lots of you religiously, every time you buy a collection, go for the perfect papers. If you want to do that today, they are still available. That's 240108. But don't forget, 55% of the main collection has gone. Lovely Carla and Taz are here as well, so we'd love to hear from you. Message in via Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll give you a little bit of a shout out later on. Thank you for lunch. Lovely.
Did you enjoy it,
I loved
Dave?
it. Yeah, tuna jacket.
Tuna and jacket.
Very
I
nice.
didn't have tuna, I don't like it. But we had beans and cheese, which is very, very tasty.
Very nice.
So we're going to have a look at Floral Dawn on the boards so you can see what you get when you get it home. It is incredible. Of course it is. You knew that as well as I did, and that's why it has been so popular. But it is an extraordinary set, and our crafting is just taken to another level, of course, when we're using stuff like this, because it's so professional, it's so beautiful, and it's just so well done. So the main card shape that Carnation have brought us this time is the elegant foliage card shape, and it is exquisite. You have got your card base die, then you've got a die for your mats, a die for your layers, and then you've got this filigree that you see here. Detail embossed into it with those cut lines as well, so you get that really beautiful kind of vivid detailing, which we like that kind of stuff. You've also got your mid panels here. Now they can be used as apertures if you so choose, or they can be laid down as layers, and you can pop your sentiments on them. We've got those long line upstanding sentiments, so you can use those on there as well. This one die, and it is one die, does cut 2 of these strips. They create a box in order for us to do 3D elements, and we've seen those in both of the shows this morning. And just while I'm on that subject, please do remember to go over to YouTube, to Carnation Crafts TV, and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That will keep you informed of when we're going live, so you'll always know for future events. You can also check that out on the Carnation Crafts calendar, which is on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and that will keep you informed. But it does mean on YouTube you can go back and watch the shows at any given time. So shows like this morning, should you have missed them, you can go back and watch them, and they will stay there hopefully historically. So this will cut into 2 shapes, and each one has got some little dimples here. On the other side it's kind of knobbly. That creates a very stable structure, so when we form that into a small box, it can be folded flat for postage, or it will pop up, and so you've got this mechanism that works to raise your sentiments, to raise your florals, or any other aspect you want to use in your crafting.
I really think that's one of my favourite card blanks.
Yeah, it's got
beautiful.
to be one of mine as well, I have to say. I love the chunky feel to it. I love the fact that it's, as much as I love delicate filigree, because I'm not particularly a delicate person myself, this really fits in. It's a really beautiful chunk, and I love it.
And it's really versatile for any occasion.
Yeah, of course. So it stems across any occasion, be that sympathy, birthdays, or celebration. These I love. I'm totally in love with these upstanding sentiments. You've got love, enjoy, birthday, celebrate, and engaged. Each one designed as a snippable piece. So, for instance, love, which we've got here, you'll see a little cut line there and one again there. And that means that I can cut the L away and I can cut the O, and same with the V and the E. For instance, on the word love, I could cut the O away and I could hang the O over the little line here. The L, I could do the V and have this line just hanging inside the O, and the E just hanging inside the V, and I can make it go across my card. So there's lots of ways of manipulating that font.
Like kind of linked in together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you can just play with the way that it works.
Like that.
And that gives us lots of different ways of utilising the font and utilising the actual die cuts themselves in order to produce different results. Each one has these little dots on them that you'll see, these little circles, and they're there either as a visual, which they're beautiful, or you can use them to add in the little yellow florals that come with this collection, which will make them pop. Always remember, you've got florals from other collections as well. So for instance, if you wanted to use the enjoy or love, for instance, or even celebrate, and it was a Christmas card, remember when we go to things like, say, family Christmas, or ready for Christmas, all of those different ones where you've got the small florals, you would be able to utilise those on those to make them Christmas sentiments as well. So they're not just for one occasion.
And the cute rabbits and the blue tits.
The rabbits. So you have got these gorgeous little creatures. So these are our Dawn friends. So you've got the long-standing rabbit here, who is just a dream, isn't he, with his little paws. Remember those cut lines that just are underneath the paws. Use a little craft knife, cut those away, and his little paws will hang over whatever is in front of him. And we do have a wall in this collection, so he could stand with his little paws over the wall. Then you've got your little bunny rabbit that's just chilling and hanging around. He's very, very sweet. And then we've got this one who looks like he's been stopped, and he's very curious about what's going on.
He looks a bit startled.
He does. He's got the loveliest lugs.
Who called me? Yeah.
Really, really pretty. And then obviously the same kind of scenario with your blue tit there. So we've got obviously your different sort of visions. Where is the blue tit looking? Now, of course, because we have mirrored vignettes at Carnation, which means we have an image on this side and an image on the reverse, you can reflect that. So this bunny is looking this way. We're not dictated to with Carnation. We can flip that image and the bunny will look that way, which means we've got double the value, which I likes. Then we have got Rising Above. I love this so much. I actually think this is possibly my favourite board. This is such a massively useful piece of die cut. The heart is stunning, comes in obviously for Valentine's and many other things, but also just as an impact, a piece of impact. It's really strong. So it can be used with the wall, it can be used independently. You've got the long stem branch here. If you would think of Jack and the Beanstalk, cut away these 2 lines so that you've got that thinner element here. Add it and tuck it behind, you'll be able to create a longer stem. So think of your build in that way, it will just continue to grow. You could then tuck that behind and you would have a little poking out love heart, which would be very sweet. Your wall here can be snipped into, so if I don't want that wall to be as high, I can cut those 2 away, those 3, those 4, so on and so forth. Same for the little one, and we can raise some up on 3D foam tape. That's going to allow it to have a really nice dynamic shape.
Now, all of that is in the main collection, and of course the main card shape is rectangular, where you've got those beautiful vines or leaves coming from the main shape. But having said that, we do have another couple of card shapes that you may well... Oh, I haven't done the flowers, sorry, I cut you off.
Dave, you forgot my flowers, Dave.
Beg your pardon. I've already done it twice, I should know, I know.
Dave, you've got your burst of blooms, which is just exquisite. So these are almost, they've got a sense of Victoriana about them, which is really pretty, but kind of modern because of the colours. So really stunning use of them. Now we can cut into them, of course, they are snippable, so you can create the size to be whatever you want it to be. Always important. I could, for instance, just remove, say, this element and just use this on its own, add in a decoupage layer, build it up. Or if I wanted to, I could cut this tiny little yellow one away there, that bud. I can add it in. You've got the separate ones for your decoupage. Lots of foliage for you to play with and decoupage elements. And not forget these little purples, which are super, super sweet. So all of that coming with this collection. That on its own is a whacking great big die. It is massive value for money and it's exquisite to craft with.
Did I tell you there are also 2 other card shapes, I may have done, in the show as well. So that's the main collection. You get all of that for just under £90 and available right now at the website. But remember, at the start of this 3rd and final show of the day, 55% of it is gone. But if you love the actual foliage on that rectangular shape, look at these 2 shapes, because this is going to tie and kind of follow on from it so beautifully well. So you're going to have the one at the top there, which is like a pagoda or an archway. That could have animals behind it, maybe stags or horses or little bunnies. It could also be maybe the setting for a wedding card with a couple on there. That would look lovely. And then of course down the bottom, you've then got the wreath in the same design. So if, like me, you love that rectangular card shape in the main collection and you're thinking, I'd like to take that a bit further, that's what this collection does. Both of them together for $49.99. You get loads of dies for your mats and layers as well. It's stunning.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not feeling you again, Dave. You were like a whippet then, did you see?
Oh yeah.
Oof, Dave.
Under starters orders, I'm off.
You're like a whippet, I'm like a sloth. So you've got here your card base, you've got your mats, you've got your layer, and you've got this stunning filigree, which has obviously got a movement and a flow around that circular line. You can tuck little florals in here to create a full wreath. So don't be afraid to start just tucking in. You can do smaller elements, such as a half frame with lots of florals as well. So there's loads of elements to play with. Or you can strip it back and not use the foliage at all. It's up to you. You can change and play as you go. You've got your little mats and layers here. This could make a little card all on its own. Remember, you've got that square panel here that has got as such a card base there. So you can make tags with it. You can make miniature cards with it. You can do lots of things, but you can also create apertures into the card base with them. And that means we get to play with shape and texture and dimension, but it's not the only one in this collection. This same die, and if we just bear with, if you look at that and then look at that, there's an extraordinary amount of metal. So you're getting both of those in this one set, which is extraordinary to me. But this shape, Be Still My Beating Heart.
My favourite, I think.
Love this shape. It's so pretty. And it's got so many uses and it's so versatile. Just first of all, visually, take this center point away. Visually look at the tree line at the bottom and that flowing archway to the top. What have we got in other collections? The long line bow, for instance, for Ready for Christmas. All of those things that we can do with this one piece. So this is literally all year round. Using these as apertures, pop in a stag behind it, woodland creatures behind it, go back to those collections. This is going to be an incredibly versatile card base amongst the rest of your collections. And then this beautiful piece of filigree that you can use for tucking.
And just think about how stunning your cards are going to look. If they're maybe on a display to sell, they're going to really kind of catch the eye, really stand out. And as I said before, you know, if you're a person that puts your cards on a mantelpiece or a windowsill, do you always find your favourite is the one in the middle? This will be in the middle of everybody's mantelpiece or windowsill. Absolutely stunning. Now I've got to say hello to a few of you that are on Facebook and YouTube. Hello to Mags Brown. Afternoon, Mags. Looking forward to watching, she says. Carol Borrell, good morning. Can you please tell me where I can get the circular board your cutting machine is sitting on, please?
My lazy Susan.
That's what it is, isn't
My
it?
little lazy Susan.
Kitchen Lazy Susan.
They're from Amazon. Just put in Lazy Susan on Amazon.
There you go. Suzanne Page says, good afternoon, Carla and Dave and Miss Taz from a very cold Bognor Regis. Jane Latos says, good afternoon, Carla, Taz and Dave. Another stunning collection. Can't wait to receive mine. Good afternoon from everyone in a very cold North Somerset from Pauline Thorne. Now, lots of you I know have already purchased this. You either purchased it yesterday when Carla did the little tease on Facebook Live, or you purchased it in the 9 o'clock or the 11 o'clock show. But there is still time to get it if you haven't got it yet, because over half the stock has gone today, and there are 2 more shows tomorrow supposed to be. Vera Bow has done this one. Let me give you some more inspiration. I think my favourite thing, apart from the actual card shape, which I love, and the decoration of it, I love the fact that you've got this 3-dimensional verse and word. And of course the actual mechanism die that creates that is included in the set as well. So you can have anything 3-dimensional now you've got that die, and it folds flat for postage as well. Here's another one that's using the word celebrate. Sue Dalrymple of the design team has done this one. But isn't that spectacular? If you want to do something slightly different and do something relatively simple, then look at that. Clean, simple, very, very sweet. This one, that's Barbara. Who's done this one? This one is Janine has done this one. So just using a couple of the birds and that lovely heart symbol there, really sweet, very, very classic and classy. I've got to show you this one quickly and another one too, because these, as you can probably see, have been done with like a pearlescent card. Now, I know lots of you have got pearlescent card from whoever, but I think you'll agree that looks amazing. Just using half of that, very effective. And this one is complete pearlescent.
Carnation might have some pearlescent card.
Really?
I think they might have some Crafters Centura Pearl.
Centura Pearl cardstock?
I think so.
Okay. That's what I was thinking of. I wasn't sure if Carnation did it or not.
I know they did. Whether they still do or not, I don't know. But have a look on their website and go ferret in. It's www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. See what you can find. They are a full craft shop, don't forget.
Look at this. Look at this. Totally a different use for it, using the actual word as like the card shape, which is a very clever concept. Again, with the foliage there and the 2 bunnies either side. Similar sort of idea on this one, but there's something a little bit more going on here with this one, in that you've got half of the card shape as the background, and you've got an engagement card there with 2 beautiful little rabbits. Taz is perked up. What's that? What do you think?
Put them down the spine of books if you make books. Like
Oh,
scrapbooking or
yes.
something, like an
that'd be
engagement,
beautiful.
birthday.
Yes, didn't think of that. Good idea. Absolutely, yeah. If you've got any albums, that sort of thing. Yes, why not? Perfect to put on the side of an album. Perfect, perfect, perfect. One more. Look at that. Using some of the perfect papers. And of course the perfect papers are actually card, 300 GSM card. We've got lots of different colourways that will coordinate with the fantastic artwork.
Can you keep that in your hand, Dave?
Yep.
See how we've got the little diamond dots on the circles there, which you can put florals on. Don't forget to get your enamel dots, because if you were to utilise, certainly on that instance, the white enamel dots between the words engage, man alive, would that be pretty?
That would look good, wouldn't it?
Really gorgeous. I love those little enamel dots. So please don't forget to stock up. We forget how much of a craft shop Carnation is. It's not just for dies, it has everything on there.
Everything you can want, including tools and all that sort of thing as well. But look at that, using one of those round wreath card shapes. Really lovely. I think I've got another one here quickly I can show you without knocking everything over. There we go. Look at that. That's Pam Simpson who's done that particular one. So this really is a lovely collection. It stands alone, but if you want to go for the card shapes as well, which is going to give it even more versatility, even more potential, then that's $49.99 if you want the card shapes. If you want the main collection, then that's of course $89.99. But that is 240107 if you'd like both the archway and the wreaths and all the other dies that come with it. Brilliant value at $49.99. And again, if you're watching us in America and you want to order, you can do that of course as well with us. Shipping and handling will be £4.95 if you want the main collection. If you're going to go for the perfect papers or pro print paper or anything like that, then you're looking at $14.95. Pro print paper.
If you go for what?
Pro print paper will be $14.95 obviously because of the weight, but you can order if you're in the USA as well as in the UK too. Right, should we...
Tormenting my TV husband has become a full-time sport that I thoroughly enjoy. It's the only sport I'm good at. So let's have a look at a demo. Now I'm going to do a demo that's very pared back, very clean and simple. Since the launch of Clean and Simple on Carnation's website, the main card shape from Clean and Simple, which I think Dave's got in front of him somewhere, is possibly now one of the most utilised card shapes that Carnation have ever released. That's the one, Dave, just there. This card shape, I see it all the time. I see lots of you using it. It is from the Clean and Simple design, and it goes to show that there are two variants for crafting. There's those massive showstopper cards, and there is the pared back Clean and Simple. And this is a really beautiful, in fact, celebrating the idea of that card shape, excuse the pun. Now, I'm not going to be using that card shape. I am going to be using one of the card shapes from the show, but I do want to talk about paring things back. This collection comes with those beautiful full blooms, doesn't it? But we don't have to always do those fuller cards. We can just strip it. So that's what we're going to look at in today's show. So in the earlier shows that we saw today, you have seen the much fuller cards that we've done, which are exquisite. Let's have a look at a couple of pared back ones. So I'm just going to utilise this. I've taken that and I have scored it at just over, it's about 3/4 of an inch there, and I've got some red liner tape on it which I'm going to fold back on itself, and I'm just going to attach it to the front piece. As always, I do repeat this, but we do have people who have never crafted before watching us pretty much on every show now, which is always lovely to see. So we are always going to cater to everybody.
Just wondering how many of you watching at the moment are brand new crafters. Maybe that's your new thing for 2024.
Look at that. That pleases me so much. It reminds me of 1940s headscarves, that sort of thing. It's just very, very pleasing.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? It's got a really beautiful style to it.
I love the fact the dots are really fine, because from a distance it actually looks like just a soft pink, but when you get closer you can see the fine white
detail.
Dots. Yeah,
it's just very beautiful. Now I've got a white coverlet, so to speak, on that just to call those tones. I'm going to make sure obviously that that is central, make sure I've got the place where that is. Now if you can't find your central spot, just keep rotating, you'll get there. You'll see that's where mine is, but just keep rotating. The top, or for me the top, has got 1, 2, 3 almost straight waves. That's the bit I'm going to use for my top and the bottom. It repeats both at the top and the bottom, and that just makes it easier for me to find my spot. So I'm going to go in with this. Now, one of the things that I know I want on this card, just let me get my, no, I've lost my place now, Dave. One of the things that I know that I want on this card is the bunny rabbit. I'm going to use the rabbit in this particular instance. So what I want to do is cut that out, and we can obviously then shape it as soon as it's cut, and we can work with it. So I'm going to use a vignette. Now a vignette is a piece of artwork that we get from the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and you're just going to whip to the banner menu saying downloads. It says free downloads, whip into there, and on the right hand side it says collections, so you can just scroll through. This one is called Floral Dawn. You'll get an original colourway for that. Now once we've printed that out, it's free by the way as your artwork. I'm just going to score down that black line, or I'm going to fold. I'm going to use a little bit of spray glue. Again, you can always use a glue stick. Don't use wet glue if you can possibly help it, because water and glue paper, sorry,
and remember,
don't mix.
all of that artwork, all of those vignettes will always be on the Carnation Crafts website. You haven't got to kind of panic print now hundreds and hundreds of sheets. You can just print them off as you need them. They'll always be there now and in the future too. And also you can see other artwork from previous collections as well if you want to. And there may be previous collections still available, so it's always worth checking.
Guess what we all forgot to bring up from downstairs?
The tape.
Low
the
tack tape.
Yes.
All three
We
of us.
both Taz and I said we'd
Carla.
remind you. Carla, don't forget tape.
Yeah, and you get your tape.
Thanks. That's three minds. All of us forgot. Oh well.
Our minds were on our bellies.
Well, I have to say, Taz is the youngest, Dave. Like, we're like old
Okay.
enough to be able to forget. She should have remembered.
True.
Sitting in the corner.
I've got an excuse at my age. My memory's going, so.
You're just a wee whippersnapper.
Hey.
You're like a young David Hasselhoff, our Dave.
What? Really?
You are.
They're called some things, but not David Hasselhoff. Crikey.
The Hoff. So now that we've got this, I'm going to remove this. Obviously, he's sitting on top of my cut tidy. You can start to already see that embossed detail. That keeps my die completely clean. It never touches the actual paper beneath it.
That's why I love
there's a
cut
plastic
tidy.
coating.
No more poking things out of the die.
Watch. Look at that, though. That release. Look at that detail.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Isn't that just so stunning? And we can see straight away those cut lines down his tummy are going to allow me to shape and just manipulate
So if those
that
cut
piece of
lines
paper.
weren't in there, if you tried to shape his belly, what would happen?
What would happen would be this. That's a very good question. So I've got a piece of paper here that's got no cut lines in it. This is a prime example of why we don't just go in. So if I take a ball tool and I've got a piece of paper that's got no cut lines, this is why Carnation dies are so different to other people's. Don't be foiled. Those cut lines mean something. They're not just there for decoration. If I go in here and I've got no cut lines and I start to go through, I'm going to get marks, I'm going to get creases, and I'm going to damage every single fibre in my piece. You can start to see I'm really ruining that paper.
It's wet.
Pardon?
It looks like it's been wet.
It looks like it's been wet, because what's happening is the fibres that are embossed between those, they're holding together because I haven't got a cut line in it. So those fibres are holding. What I'm doing is stretching them, so they're weakening all the time. And so you get this really warped, awful look. And that will sit on the front of your card. And so we don't want that. Carnation are very strongly against that. So when they put a cut line on a piece of artwork in order to extract that to become a die, they're done with very specific placements. You don't have to shape out Carnation's die cuts. Of course you don't have to.
I'm glad you showed that, because now that makes sense. Before, I just thought it was there for decoration, really.
Well, the difference is where his tummy is here. If I take my pokey tool and I just... Can you see? It goes straight through. Oh, that looks really menacing. It goes straight through, okay, because there is an actual cut line there. And that means that those fibres that were sitting there, held together, pinpointed, are actually broken. They're separated out. So where if I was to crush those, I'm just crushing that. If I'm crushing that, it's giving. It's got a give point on it. And so when I sculpt it, I get that flow, and it's not going to crease or look unsightly. It's just going to be beautiful every time. I hope that helps.
Yeah, good demo. Wow.
So taking, now that I've just stabbed him through the tummy.
Because we see it so many times, you know, with your demos and things, we kind of take it for granted. But if they weren't there, you wouldn't get the same result.
Well, I always talk about sculpting from the outside and working our way in, for the very simple reason that the die naturally cuts this edge. So I don't have paper here, but I have it here, because the die has cut this bit away. So that's already a cut fibre. That fibre has come away from its partner fibres. And then I can utilise Nick's cut lines in the inside of the die. A lot of dies that I've used from other companies, and I'm not dissing another company, it's just they work in different ways, but a lot of dies that I've used from other companies don't have quite that structure of cut lines. They will have cut lines in that are just there as a visual. Not many, and sometimes poorly placed. So when you try and shape it, you'll get creases in points where you didn't want creases. It will give, it will bow out when you're sculpting because the line is too big, so it gives and the ball tool goes through it. Carnations are all thought through, every single tiny dot, and that's the value in it, isn't it? So if I work from the outside, so I'm using those cut fibres already, and I use the same on his other haunch. And now I can work on the inside, and I can work his tummy because I've got those cut lines that we were talking about. So just working through his tum there. Same again on his face, and you can see it all giving. When you're at home and you're doing this, you'll often hear little cracks and pops, and that's absolutely natural, nothing to worry about. It's just where those little fibres are just breaking through.
And the difference it makes when you actually sculpt your animal or your flower or your petal or your leaf, whatever it might be, is amazing. It really makes it pop and come to life.
They're just so sweet, aren't they?
Yeah,
Look at
really
his little
sweet.
face.
It's little paws that get me.
Look at that. As a piece of artwork, look at that. I think sometimes we forget to stop and look. That's somebody else's artwork and we've been given it to play with for free, and I think it's exquisite. And I think, you know, appreciating that first is the first point of being in love with Carnation.
Do you know what I love as well is the fact that I know where it's come from. You know that it's been designed in-house in the UK by Nick and his talented artist team. So you know exactly where it's come from. It's not a license or anything like that. They give you permission to make and sell whatever you want to use in the artwork, and there's no charge for the artwork. That's the thing.
Well, no charge at all. They've got a free angel policy, which means you can't sell the files and you cannot sell the printed sheets, but you can sell anything that you've used a die on. So if you've cut it, you can sell it. So take your die, or if you're using a USB, you can of course cut it with your scan and cut. Just bear with me. The studio's hot and my glue has dried.
Not as hot as it normally is though.
No, that's because
Of the
it's
temperature outside.
like -6 outside. It's like Eskimo weather. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of this. That'll be easier for me. It'll just splodge out everywhere. There we go. Sorry about that. Right, now I'm using these, and I'm using these in the blush tone paper, and I'm using it in the natural. So I've got that cream, soft cream. So I'm taking that, leaving these flat, tiny amounts of glue just down there, and just slightly further on the top. I'm not going to go too far on the outside, but I will just secure a little leaf on each side. Find my central point, and let's pull this out. So remember, this is a clean and simple card. I'm not putting much on. Just a different way of crafting through.
Lots of you coming up with ideas on Facebook as to where to get your Lazy Susan from. Yeah, there's lots of places you can get them, but try the internet. It should be fine.
For all of you at home who like the idea of a Lazy Susan, for about the past 8 years, I've had that not that particular one, but the same one as that. I stuck it with super glue to the bottom of my glass cutting mat so I can rotate a glass cutting mat.
Good idea.
Which is brilliant for quilling. So in case any of you decide that's something you'd like to do, we like a little hint and a tip.
Absolutely. That's a lovely look, using that twice on the bottom.
This, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Doesn't it fan it out really beautifully?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put this in the middle because I want to hide my work-ins. This time I have so far always been cupping out my florals. For this one I'm going to cup it down. So I'm working on the opposing side because I've got that mirrored vignette. I can.
Just look at the way that it domes so effectively because of those cutting lines.
It is the cut lines
Yeah.
that do it. I couldn't do that with a normal sheet of
No.
card.
And remember, we recommend Pro Print paper, which you'll find on the website for printing on. Don't use copier paper because you won't get the results. You won't be happy. But Pro Print
Have
you
a
will
go.
be.
We've got on the Carnation Craft website, I think it's $4.99. And if you are brand new to us, I strongly, I could not advise you more to go onto the Carnation website and bag yourself a pack of Carnation's Pro Print Taster Pack. You get 15 sheets. My advice is go for the 120 Pro Print Taster. And yes, Miss Taz,
That's on at $3.99 at the moment.
it's on sale for
Ooh.
$3.99.
That specific one.
That one, go and try it. 120 taster pack for Pro Print. Get a couple of them, have a go, and have a go on some print paper, and then on that, and see the difference, and suddenly you'll understand the value.
Yeah.
Because I didn't when I first started. I do
And
absolutely
is
now.
that because the ink sits on the top of the Pro paper rather than getting sunk in?
It's got a coating on it. Oh, look. It has a very, very low chalk content for a start, but also it has a coating. So where the ink would go onto the fibres of the paper, which are, they use chalk as a binding agent because chalk is cheap. And so the cheaper the paper, the more chalk it's got in it, and that absorbs all the colour. It's a very absorbent, thirsty substance. Pro Print does not have that. It also has a cover on the top, a coating on the top of it. You can't use it with laser printers. If you use it with a laser printer, you can damage the printer and you will also damage the paper. So it is only for inkjets, but man alive, is it worth it?
So chalky paper then, like copier paper, actually will drink more ink.
It's got
And
more
you won't
chalk
get
in
the better
it.
results.
I am somebody, I'm just gluing these together, sorry, they've come apart. I am somebody who very much loves going down rabbit holes on YouTube. So I once spent the best part of a week learning about papers, fibres of papers, and how it's produced and what's used as binding agents and different things. And chalk is heavily used in paper, which we talk about low chalk content, but it actually is a lot. And the cheaper the paper, the more chalk.
Right.
And that's
See,
why.
everyone thinks we've got a rock and roll lifestyle, but in actual fact,
Dude, that was me rocking and rolling. Most people like a nightclub. I like to sit and learn about paper. I am that dull. Oh well. Sorry.
Really show our age difference.
I don't
Taz-
even think it's age difference.
Taz
I was
is-
doing this at your age, Taz.
Taz is looking at Carla, shaking her head.
So just opposing these florals. So one dome down, and now I've got these cupped upwards, and that's going to allow me to have a change on visual aesthetic. So I can lay those over the top, so you get that pretty relief. And then I'm going to go in with a couple of leaves, not much. Remember, we're paring this right back. A bit of wet glue here. I'm just going to add a little bit of colour, just with those greens. Aren't they pretty?
And remember, if you missed the earlier two shows at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, you can always watch them back on YouTube a bit later if you want to, for more inspiration. If you're just tuning in now, buying them, maybe first time you've seen these, this particular collection, there are 2 more shows to enjoy tomorrow. Is that 10 and 12 tomorrow?
Yeah, but
Yep, 10 and 12 tomorrow, and you can watch back the 9 and the 11 o'clock one later on if you want to too.
now, my beautiful little rabbit here, just to give you all a heads up, where you've got your love heart here, I'm sure you'll experiment with this yourself and find out anyway. If you're canny with him, his little ears will just poke through this love heart and he will interlock inside to allow him to sit with his little bunny ears. Okay, so he'll just sit like so, and he is super cute like that. I'm not using him that way in this demo, I don't think, because I think I want my 2 bunnies together, because I'm going to make what is essentially a Valentine's card. So I'm just going to place this down, and
I think that's the lovely thing about this collection, is it's not just for a specific season or a specific reason or occasion. You can use them for Valentine's, use them for spring, summer, birthday cards, anniversary cards, the lot.
really cute. Right, let me just very quickly, I won't be long with him, I'm just going to shape out his face and his haunches and his lovely tummy. Little ball tool for his ears. Pull his face forward, his little ears forward. His little ears. She's just gone cute. And then let's fill these little bubbas up with some silicone gel glue.
And the nice thing is as well, when you go to the website to print off the artwork, the vignettes, you've got the choice of either printing off single-sided or double-sided. If you know it's going to be stuck flat to something, what's the point in having the back coloured? Save your ink. But if you know the back might be visible, or you want to make something that's looking right, look left, and you want to flip it over, then the double-sided mirrored vignettes are there for you
Get
too.
double for your money.
Yeah.
They're just going to be holding that little love heart, grounded out on that little piece of filigree. And there they
That's
are,
so cute.
happily in love. Clean, simple, paired back.
They want to be together.
Very pretty. Want to be together.
I mean, who would not
Very,
love
very
receiving that on Valentine's Day? So sweet. Beautiful. Okay, now let me show you just a couple more couple more cards, should I say, using the artwork and using these fantastic dies. I mean, this is actually a nesting die set from a previous collection from Carnation, isn't it? This particular one.
That is, let me have a look at the shape. That's the crystalline. No, yes, that's crystalline.
Crystalline. Okay, so this proves that if you've got and invested in previously other collections, that these are going to work with it beautifully well. Obviously the card shapes we've got for you in the show today, the fine leaf shapes are circular, the archway and the rectangle, but using other nesting dies, that works so well with the actual floral spray in the middle. But also you've got that word enjoy and the mechanism, so you can use these on all sorts of other cards. Some of the cards I've got in front of me, you've actually had the flowers on the 3-dimensional mechanism, so you can put anything on that mechanism you want to and use it on other cards from other collections that you bought from Carnation in the past. Again, a very simple and sophisticated card from Janine, who's done this one. Really like that, just very simple and to the point. Celebrate. And then of course you've got that beautiful little blue tit in the background as well. And this is one from the previous show that Carla did earlier on at 11 o'clock. There we are. and that's using, of course, that beautiful archway card blank. She's used the off-white against the white, so it's very subtle but very effective. And then this is also using that mechanism to great effect on the side there. And remember, if you use them in the correct way, they'll all literally fold flat for posting, but it really makes a difference having that three-dimensional decoupage coming out from the card there.
So the impact's huge, isn't it? Don't you think?
I think so. Totally agree with you. Beautiful, beautiful. And don't forget the perfect papers. Why do I need those? I've got lots of cardstock in my room. Is it the right colour pink? Is it the right colour yellow? Is it the right colour green? That's the key thing, because obviously all the tones have been selected to work and to complement the artwork from the vignettes. But look at that for a gorgeous card. I just love the way the birthday sits proud. It really does make a striking impact, doesn't it? So let's have another look then at what the design team have been doing with this. It's the brand new collection, the first collection of 2024, called Floral Dawn. We've also got the pine leaf card shapes in the show as well, all available right now. But remember, when we came on air at 1, 55% of the entire stock had gone. Take a look. Just going to show you that one for a second, but you can make gorgeous easel cards as well. Janine has done this one. Some of the design team's samples today have been absolutely extraordinary. They're a very talented bunch, but also, of course, it's helped that you've got this amazing array of dies and artwork as well. It's very, very hard not to make a good Carnation card. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Carnation card, because the artwork's there, the dies are there, you just put it together and take the credit, and you can sell what you make, of course, for either personal profit or for charitable purposes, even better if it's for charity. But everyone says to me, whenever I've made Carnation cards, you may have got a display on a table in a church hall or somewhere, and it's maybe lots of other brands of card as well as Carnation, but it's always the Carnation cards that sell out the first, that people get drawn to the first, because it's the artwork, it's the design, it's the ingenuity and the imagination of whoever put this together, mainly Mark, Nick and the team at Carnation. They come up with unbelievable ideas, and every single month or every 2 weeks that I'm here, I kind of think, well, how can they better, or how can they change or do something different that no one else has done before? But they always come up with something, don't they, Carla?
Yeah, they're an incredibly strong team of artists. So Nick, who is the creative director, also has a team of artists that work with him. So there is Bunny, Jazz and Tash. Good afternoon to you all, who are incredibly skilled, just in their own right. Take Nick out of it. They are incredibly skilled artists. And so between them and run by Nick, they create awesome artwork. And it's unusual, especially in the craft industry, really unusual to have hand-drawn art. You normally get stock images. And Carnation are very set against doing that. They don't want us to have stock images. They want their product to stand out. They want us to be proud of what we make, and they also want to give us creative freedom. And it can be difficult to do that often when we get dies. Now, part of that reason is normally when you have a die, it's facing a single way. So when Nick created mirrored vignettes, which allow us to reflect what we've got, already we doubled up on our composition. It's not just about value for money, it's about the value of composition. So having things facing both ways. But
that was the game changer for me, that was.
Yeah, I mean, he is a very clever mind, is Nick, and so these sort of things are obvious to him. It might not be obvious to us, but it's one of those things afterwards where we go, where has this been? Where has this been? Isn't that obvious, And they've taken it to another level. So that gives us a lot more creative freedom as artists ourselves. And don't let anyone tell you different at home. As soon as you start making cards, you are an artist and you're crafting in, with your art. And so what we have here is a really strong set of tools to do that with. And in the same way that if I was, a carpenter, I would want to have beautiful wood to make carpentry with. I would want to make the finest furniture. That's what Carnation gives us for crafting. It's the beautiful foundation.
And also think about that word pride, because from what people have said to me is their overwhelming sense of being proud about what they've created. I'm proud to work for Carnation. I know Carla is, Taz is as well, because they are such an amazing band of people that create the most amazing product. There's nothing else out there like it for card makers around the world. So take advantage of the collection today. Print off the vignettes, download the vignettes and print them off today, and enjoy the artwork now, and the team will get your dies to you in the next day or two, definitely.
So the last card that I'm going to make for you today, obviously we'll have more demos for you tomorrow at 10 and 12, but I'm going to use the fine leaf card shape. I'm going to use my favourite card shape, which is this beautiful archway, and again we're paring it back, we're going clean and simple. And I just wanted to show you, I think this, I believe, this means that I've given you 2 of each card shape this morning, so you've got a good grasp, because a lot of you will have this in your pour tomorrow. And so you've got a springboard from which to go as soon as you get them home. I love that colour.
Yeah.
Really is so pleasing to me. It's a greeny bluey grey, which I think is just a beautiful colour.
And can you see it's very, very fine stripes? I know from a distance it looks quite a block colour, but it's very fine stripes.
Going in with a 350 stark white. That's your smooth card, brilliant for stamping on and various other things. Excellent as a matte and a layer. So,
Can I just let you know, I've just heard 60% gone now on the main collection, with 2 more live shows tomorrow.
Probably.
And you can't get it anywhere else at the moment.
Hopefully. Right, so now I've got this beautiful border, okay, so that's given me some colour, and the pieces that I'm going to put on here are going to bring out the colour of that mat as well. So again, using your natural papers, I got to say, this has been the collection that I've used natural blush papers in more than any other that I've ever done. Look at the contrast between that cream tone, this is the natural, and that white with the blue behind it. We get a really nice visual there, don't we? What it does is warms up those tones, but it makes this more prominent than anything else on that card base at the moment, and that's what I want. So just using small amounts of glue. Why do we use small amounts of glue, Dave Bradford?
Because glue is sticky.
Because glue is sticky. So small amounts here and here.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching Carla over the months, you may be thinking to yourself, I use far too much glue. If you find that kind of seeps out when you put a bit of pressure down, you're using far too much. You don't need as much as you think you need.
Add glue, you cannot take it away. Better to have too little and add a little more than it is to have too much and be stuck with it.
And get in a mess.
The thing is, as ridiculous as that statement is, that I always say, glue is actually sticky. And so once you've got it in place and it's pinned, you actually need very little.
But a design like that, you wouldn't want always for it to be completely flush. It's nice to have some of the leaves that are just sticking up a little bit, so there's a bit of shadow there, a bit of colour play.
It is, but the other side to it as well, if I put a lot of glue on here and I press that down, I'm going to get splodges of it. You're going to see it. You'll have a shine where the glue is, because PVA, no matter how much people say PVA dries clear, that ain't always true. It does dry clear, but it dries shiny clear. So you can still see it. And so you want to avoid that at every cost that you possibly can. And the other thing is, the more glue you use, the more chance you've got of getting those little grey sausages of glue that happen when it's been on your skin, because obviously you have natural oils on your skin. So we're always trying to avoid that whenever we're working with any kind of artwork. You don't want the natural oils from your skin to be on that card, or as little as possible. Using smaller amounts of glue will help you with that process. So I've got my wall here, which I love so much. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not particularly shaping this out, but I am just going to break the fibres in each piece. Now I could cut those if I wanted that wall to be smaller. I don't, but I could if I wanted it to. What that's going to do is separate each one out. If you want to go to town on this, just to give you a quick heads up, when you're shaping it, my advice, you do you, but I'm not telling you what to do, just my advice. Where you're shaping it, don't go in circles. Go across.
Right.
Just go across.
So giving each boulder
Give each
definition.
boulder just a little bump in the centre of it. That's it. That'll just give you enough lift and enough bulge, okay? You don't need to do any more than that. If you overwork it, it will start to look like it's a circle, which you don't want. So I'm using silicone gel glue for the good reason that I want it to stand proud, but also, more importantly, I think I'm going to probably want to move it a little bit. I'm going to ground it to the bottom. So we almost get a visual stairway into that archway, so I know that my showstopper is going to be my central spot.
It does look like steps now, you come to say it. Yeah.
You give it that kind of visual point. Get your Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Enchanted, enchantment, the fairies.
Pure enchantment.
Pure enchantment. Get your pure enchantment out, because isn't this perfect for those wee fairies to
Well
be flying
remembered,
around?
Taz.
Well remembered. See,
I've gone through all the collections list 3 times already.
I just don't have any memory, honestly. Tiny amounts.
My short-term memory is good. My long-term memory is shocking.
I've got none of either. When you're on Hobby Maker and you see people putting loads of glue on stuff, do you ever sit there and think,
Yes.
that's a lot of
I
glue?
say,
now,
I say to them, glue's sticky, don't you realise that? They look at me like I've lost my mind.
oh, you don't need that much. Right, excuse me, don't make me laugh. See, I'm still wheezy. Right, let's take these 2 little dicky buds. Now, I want one facing that way and I want one facing this way. I've got 2 options here. I can have him at the top, so he'll be looking off into the card, or I'll have him at the bottom, so he's looking up to this bird, which is what I am going to do. And I want to shape them out, but I want them to be in the order that they are now. So the first thing I need to do is reverse them so I can shape them. That's going to allow me just to get some structure onto their bodies.
So are they looking at each other lovingly then, do you reckon?
Either that, or they've just had a bit of a row over who's having the Chinese and who's having the fish and chips. You never know. Somebody maybe didn't want to hoover, somebody else maybe did. You never know these things, Dave.
Which one's having the takeaway, which one's having the millet?
Having the what?
Millet.
What's millet? Bird food.
Bird food, yeah.
I thought you said Merlot. So I'll take that. You can have the takeaway, Dave.
It's lunchtime.
5 o'clock somewhere, kid. Right, let's just take his chest and pull his head forward. Same here. And so he is going to sit down on here. I just need to ground him out, so his feet do need to be somewhere. So for those of you brand new to card making, just so you know, your grounding device, Carnation will always provide us with grounding devices. They're really important. If I just place him here, I make the mistake of he is floating in midair. Now, the one time you could get away with that maybe is a bird, where you would have it floating in midair, but not when he's blatantly standing, because it will look like gravity's about to take its turn. So it's always best to just ground his little feet out onto something. Now, I don't want to lose the shape of the heart too much, so I'm just perching him on that branch, and then this little chap, he's going to stand on these top leaves. So he's much higher. And this little chap is looking up at this little chap. Okay, we're creating that story. Now I've got too much white space and I'm not happy with the lack of colour. So I am just going to create a corner element. Corner elements always important when we're card making.
And it's the speed of blue tits that really fascinate me when you actually see them flying. They go so fast and so quick.
Tell you.
I get a headache if I move that fast.
There's a conference of them in my garden, Dave. I'll let you listen to them when you go downstairs. You tell me what they're talking about. I think they're discussing politics, either that or they're talking to me, and I don't know what about. And I feel like
the sweetest birds, though. They really are.
Being rude. I don't know. They don't look very sweet outside my window. They look like they're about to have me.
They're coming for you.
Like a cacophony of blue tits. There was about 25 of them the other day in a tree, wow. And I started to feel a little bit like I was in, the movie.
What, the birds?
Yeah.
I don't think they'd attack you. Not blue tits.
You don't know.
They're sweet.
You don't know.
They're not vicious.
I mean, Marge the pigeon would save me. She's been my friend for a good long time. That's his face. The thing is, Taz has these live conversations with me sometimes when she comes home.
It's not a conversation.
I'm like, oh, Taz, them blue tits have been outside talking to me this morning.
Do you talk back to them?
Yeah, of course. You don't want to be rude. I mean, I'm from Yorkshire.
You talk to anybody?
I like to have a good chat. It's the only people I see most days.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Something very clean and simple and sweet.
Love it. I can't believe we're nearly at the end of the show. It's been a brilliant day. My first day of 2024 in the Carnation Crafts TV studio. I'm going to be back in a couple of weeks' time with another new launch. I know you're going to be here with Taz tomorrow for two
Yes.
more shows, 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And if you're watching this show back anywhere after 2 o'clock, obviously it's a recording, you're watching an on-demand viewing of the show. Just go online to our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk, because that's where you'll find the collection. That's where you'll find the artwork, the vignettes, and that's where you can print them off. And rest assured, the team at Carnation will get your order out straight away. So you may even get it tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the day after. I just want to end by showing you a couple of my favourite cards of the show. Now this one, I haven't shown you very much, it was buried in my pile here, but I wanted to show you that you can, with the actual mechanism, create the 3D effect, not just with the words that are in the collection, but also with the flowers themselves. So that's a different way of using the mechanism. You can use that mechanism on anything you like. And my favourite of the show has to be this one. I think for the reason being that obviously I love the design of the dies, I love the design of the artwork and everything else, but putting it on Centura Pearl or something similar cardstock, using the die on that, it just lifts it to another level of luxury as far as I'm concerned. So that's my number one of the show. Not that I usually have a favourite, but I think that's gorgeous.
You always say Taz is your favourite.
You're
Both do.
You're both my favourites. So if you want the Floral Dawn collection, then it's 240101. The easy way to order is just go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. There is Clear Pay and PayPal Pay in 3 if you want to spread the cost. If you do want the fine leaf card shapes as extras, they are available, and they tie in nicely with the main card shape, of course, the circle and the archway. They're available for you for just over £40. Are they £49.99? Yeah. £49.99. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
Taz. Thank you for having me in your home or wherever you're watching. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and Carla and Taz will be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Make a note of it, and we'll see you soon.